Introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Daniel Duran. I'm the son of the pastor, Carlos Emerza. I'm also the worship director here at Nueva Vida.
Ooh, that's a whole mouthful. Man, I only asked for your name.
Sorry.
So your name is Danny.
Uh-huh.
You're the son of the pastors.
Yep.
So Pastor Marisa, Pastora Duran, this is their son. As Crystal would say, not the favorite child.
Not true.
And you're also the music director.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
I was going to ask you, one of my questions was, what role do you play in the church? But thank you for answering
Oh,
that.
there you go.
So, music director. What does a music director do? I think it sounds like a really big and important title.
It does. It's not as scary as it sounds.
Yeah?
So what the music director does, I work with the worship director. So Annalise is the worship director. So she's usually the one that picks the songs and kind of leads the singers for practice and stuff. When we have practice, I lead the musicians. So for example, I'll have a little mic that I'll talk into when I'm talking to the drummer and the guitar player and the bass player, and I'll tell them oh, okay, we're gonna go to the verse or we're gonna go to the chorus, or oh, build up here or bring it down here. So I direct that side of it to kind of complement what the singers are doing.
Okay, I would have never imagined that it was so intricate, so much logistics.
Yeah.
It just sounds good. I'm there
That's the goal, yeah, the goal.
Okay, so worship and the actual music piece of it is a completely different thing. Two completely different things.
Yes, but they work together, so it's not like...
And they work together. So when do we figure out how this is going to work? Is it something that we talk about before
Yes,
worship?
yeah.
Okay.
So on Fridays we
service?
usually practice, and we'll kind of we'll have the songs already known by then, and we'll just practice it. But on Fridays usually when we'll have a lot of changes, we'll have oh, okay, this song wasn't working so well, or maybe this key for this song wasn't working so well. So on Friday we'll work out everything we need to do for Sunday. Then on Sunday we do a quick run through, and we'll work out anything that we didn't get to do on Friday before we do worship.
And so when things change, during the service, mid-worship, how do you communicate these changes amongst each other?
So when it's during worship, it's a little different. Normally, I would just, talk to everyone else in the worship team and let them know, okay, we're going to do this. But obviously during worship, it's not like I can stop and tell everybody, okay, actually, let's do this. So a lot of it is eye contact and kind of body language. So there has been a lot of times where I'll look at one of the singers to let them know, okay, you're gonna come in at this part, right now, or or I'll look at the drummer, whoever it is for that day, and I'll kind of lead them as far as okay, here, that kind of thing. So a lot of it is just eye contact and body language.
Wow. So how long have you been working as the music director in the church?
I've been the music director for the last 4 years or so. But before that, I was playing on the worship team as a second keyboard.
Oh, okay. So this is something that you've been kind of working on. So would you say that, the longer that you've been doing it, the easier that it is to communicate through these untold signals?
Because you start to understand what this means and what this means.
It's funny because obviously I've been coming here for years, and I don't ever remember being able to pinpoint when you guys are actually communicating. So you do a really good job at making it.
Yeah, it's usually it's quick. It's just a quick okay, and then keep going. Yeah.
That is so cool. So okay, so you're the pastor's son. You've been here with us for 4 years doing the actual music director role.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me a little bit about your relationship with music. How do we end up discovering this, calling that you obviously have?
I think for everyone it starts off the same way, and it's that you just like hearing music. That's definitely how it started off with me. I just heard some songs and I was like, man, I like the way this song makes me feel. Mm-hmm. But in my case, it kind of led to a curiosity as far as why does this song make me feel like that? So that curiosity is what led me to try and look under the hood and see what's what is going on? What are they actually doing to make me feel this way? So I started learning piano because of that, and I loved it. It was so much fun.
Really?
Yeah. So I love the way music can affect us. Even someone who is not a musician understands that music makes us feel a certain way, and it complements what we see and what we do.
I love that you bring that because music is used all throughout the Bible to worship. And just it's actually used to emit all kinds of different feelings. We see mourning, we see praise, we see victory, we see war, emitted through different sounds of music. Tell me a little bit about maybe the most memorable or first sound that you can remember or song that made you feel a distinctive way. What was that way, or what was that
Okay,
song?
so the way it started was I must have been like elementary school. I was young, so it actually started because of video games. I would play video games, and there was one game in particular that the soundtrack kind of stood out for me, and it was The Legend of Zelda. So that game, there was a song that played.
Game.
Yes, a video game. I know.
That is so cool.
There was a song that played, and I just remember playing the game and hearing it and being like, "Wow, like this song is so cool. Why do I feel like this? Like I would get this feeling." And
What was the feeling?
Like heroic, like noble, or like adventurous. Like these like it was weird that I was able to get these specific like concepts just from sound. You know what I mean? Like that's how I felt. Like I felt like I was a hero, or I felt like I was doing something important, like something grand. And that's what made me like, man, like why? Like why do I feel like that? So I learned. That's when I started learning piano, and I started learning songs from that game first. And I learned like, oh, okay, the reason why I feel like that is because of the chords that they use in that song. And I learned that you can reuse those chords for other things too. So like the chords and stuff that I learned from those songs, I still play and I still use them all the time.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, so you can use the same thing but use it in other ways, and you get like that similar feeling but with a different context, and it's completely different.
I love that you bring that, because it reminds me of a preaching that your father actually preached a couple maybe months ago, where he was talking about how when we go through the wilderness and through the different tests and processes in life, we end up acquiring keys. And these keys are useful for like the next level of our lives. And the more we go through things, the more keys we acquire. So it just sounds like the more chords you pick up, right?
Yes,
you're able to transfer them into
Absolutely.
different scenarios and emit even different feelings from.
Yeah.
That is extremely interesting, because I think that was the goal of music anyway, when God created it, to convey these deep emotions
and expression. Yeah, definitely.
That is really cool. What verse makes you think about the feeling that you get when you listen to or think about music? Do you have a verse that does that for you?
Yeah, so I think, what was it? Psalms 150. Let me pull it up. It's the verse that talks about praising, like letting let everything that has breath praise the Lord.
Verse 6.
Verse 6, verse 150, chapter 150, verse 6. So let everything that has breath praise the Lord. So the whole chapter is just talking about praising God, and it just made me feel like wow, like everything that has breath, that includes like everyone, like everything to praise. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, it's just a very powerful verse to me.
I know off cameras you were talking about like nature.
Oh yes. Even, like, so even like in nature, the way the animals sing, I feel like it's such a powerful like thing to hear, because they sing obviously so different from us, but the way they do it, it has like its own rules and its own like things,
to praise the Lord,
and it's all to praise. Yeah,
I think that's a very powerful verse myself. And I think that a lot of times we get lost in just the sound of music, but we forget everything that it can convey, like the chords and everything that you're talking about, and what God designed it to do in actuality. I have a question for you.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite song?
I do. I have a couple, but one that I always come back to is How He Loves Us. That song I love a lot. So
we can see that. We just saw that. It was on your face. Why? Why do you love that song?
It just has, one, like the chords that are used, they're simple, but they convey such a nice feeling when I listen to them. And it complements the lyrics so well. I feel like when I listen to the song, it feels like I'm being comforted, like someone's hugging me. And that's exactly what the song is. It's just talking about how his love for us is so like amazing and so grand.
That's amazing.
It is. It's an amazing song.
I mean, it's amazing that you're able to feel the embrace through the song.
Yes, yeah.
Not only the words, but also like the actual music.
I feel like that's the goal of music, is to express like these complex ideas that we have that sometimes words alone kind of fail to express. I feel like music helps bring that, like, just these words to, like, it makes you feel that feeling that you are feeling. A lot of feelings involved.
a lot of feeling. Yeah, it makes me think of David. When he would play, the harp. When, what was it, King Saul, he was being oppressed by the demons. And just by David playing the harp, he would gain peace. He would,
Yes, yeah.
and the demons would flee. So it makes me wonder, not even really wonder, but it kind of brings to remembrance that it's not even about the words. It's, like the chords themselves, like you're talking about, just the instrument.
It's about I feel like it's about the intention, like who you're playing for. Because you can play, anybody can learn an instrument and play, but when you're playing for, like, with the intention to bring it before God, I feel like even if you're playing the same thing as someone else, that intention can make what you're playing different.
I love that. It's exactly what music is about. Let everything that has breath praise the Lord.
Yeah, yeah.
You're praising the Lord. Oh, so you said you had multiple favorite songs. What's the other one?
So another one I really like is Jehovah Jireh. That one I like a lot also because of the chords, but the lyrics themselves are also pretty powerful as far as, like, what they're conveying.
What do you feel when you hear that song?
Man, that's a hard question. Like, when I hear the song, it just feels like...
I'll tell you what I feel when I hear that song. You're talking about Jireh, you are enough. That song?
No, I'm talking about Jehovah Jireh.
Oh.
My provider.
Oh,
that
okay.
One.
Okay.
So that one has a lot of, like, words that they call God, like a lot of, like, names for him. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But, like, my provider was one of them. Like, I just feel like those words kind of speak to me as far as, like, how we see God and what he means to us,
I've actually been exploring that for like 2 weeks, how we get to know God out of, like, our need for him. And so, like, you won't be able to call on or experience, like, Jehovah Rapha, the healer, if you haven't needed him out of, sickness, if you haven't needed healing from him. And so, like, I think that it's hard for you to convey what that song makes you feel because it's so, like, multi-dimensional.
Yes,
right?
it's true.
So
it's true.
It can make you feel, in the provider part, it can make you feel safe. But then on the, like, on the
Prince of Peace as another lyric.
Right? It can make you feel like, it can make you feel serene.
Yes.
And so, like, in every lyric of the song, because we're
like a different aspect of what he is.
Yeah. So I think that's why it was hard for you to kind of pinpoint
maybe.
because it's just so much going on. And we only get to know God out of, like, our need. Like, I've been exploring Jehovah as Jehovah Sabaoth, the Lord of hosts. And it's it's basically like him in war form. And it's the concept of Jehovah Sabaoth is that nothing moves. It doesn't matter what army troops are on, nothing moves unless he gives the order. So you have it makes it like, and we know this. We know that we have victory in him, but that's what Jehovah Sabaoth means. It means the God that will bring you victory in war. So it's kind of cool to go through, like, the names and what it makes you feel. Tell me a little bit. I heard somewhere around the block, little secret, that you not only play for the church, that you not only have been playing. I know that you used to play at World of Music, right? Music World.
Yeah, World of Music.
World of Music, but that you also have a music school.
Yes. Yes.
What is that about?
I started teaching music a couple years ago, and I decided to start teaching music here at the church. So I do, like, piano and drum lessons for anybody who's interested. Doesn't matter how old you are, like, what your background is, just if anyone who's interested,
So how young? Like, I have a 2-year-old, almost 3-year-old. Like, how young do you recommend a child will begin to kind of, like, take in these lessons and make something out of it?
I think a lot of it kind of depends on the kid. Everyone knows their kid best, and their ability to kind of, like, take in information and, like, their interest in it. I'd say, like, probably, like, 5 or 6, like, around there.
Okay.
But it does depend.
Okay. So how often is this going on? Like, how does it work? How do we sign up? Where do we get more information about this?
So I have, like, a little business card or a flyer, so I didn't bring it today. But
Okay.
But yeah, if you give my number, I can definitely just reach out to me, and we can set up a time. So it's like 30-minute lessons, and it's like anytime Monday through Friday from like 3 to around like 8. Like,
Okay.
it's like some block between there.
And what would you say, and I know that it's obviously going to be based on, like, each individual, but what's the give and take good estimated time frame to which someone can be, I guess, proficient enough in like, let's say, piano, for example?
That's a hard question because it really depends what you define as like proficient. But if you're asking like how long it takes to learn a song, it depends on the person. But I'd say like to learn like a simple song, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, maybe 4, like around there. Like maybe like I'll say like a month's time, something like that.
Okay. I mean, that's not bad.
It's not bad, yeah.
So you're teaching
Piano and drums.
piano and
drums
drums
as well.
Okay.
So sometimes I actually do play drums here at the church. Normally I don't because I'm on the piano. But there are times I do go over and I play drums, so I can do that.
Okay, so we're gonna put the information below for your number to get in
Yeah.
contact with you. You're usually here on Mondays.
Yeah. Well, I'm here pretty much every day of the week, actually. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so that's Envy Music School.
Yes.
Wow. I'm so appalled. I've learned so much with you today.
Yeah, me too.
Are there any last words that you want to share with our beautiful viewers?
Thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys for having me here.
Well, I just want to say that I've had a great time with you. I think it's amazing. Like, your story is amazing, and just kind of seeing you or hearing you describe the things that we don't really per se think about when we think about music answers a lot of questions that maybe people may have about why they feel a certain emotion when they listen to like a certain song, and it's all in those like underlying chords that you're talking about. So I just want to say thank you for spending time with us. Thank you for coming by.
Thank you.
And so thank you guys for viewing. I want to leave us with one more thought, and that's